Hey Facebook gang, it's Bob with Positive Vibe session number 76 today. Today is one of admitting that I got caught up and need to take my own medicine. In previous talks on meditation, I may have mentioned part of especially early practice in meditation, when you sit down, if it's a focus on just breathing, right? Focusing on the in and out breath and keeping your focus concentration there. The mind wanders. The mind goes off and does its own thing, and that's part of the process of training and getting back to focus concentration, whereby you actually celebrate instead of punishing yourself or getting down on yourself for losing your focus and being angry that your mind wandered or being angry that your meditation got interrupted because of some other thought process. It actually becomes a part of the progress of meditation. It becomes something that you celebrate and recognize you have actually gotten better because you noticed that your mind started wandering, and you bring your focused attention back to the breath. And that happened to me sort of in maybe a little bit grander scheme beyond meditation, but in the I got caught up in the news and conversations about the news, and I guess you can call it the news, but all this stuff about the World Cup, and I keep turning it over in my mind and investigating it and exploring how I feel and trying to understand and empathize with how other people feel. I just see a lot of anger, I see a lot of hatred, I see a lot of really negative emotions, and those negative emotions, I don't want to belittle the fact that people have them. Those are real emotions. People really feel that way. And so I don't want to cast any aspersions that people are wrong for feeling that way. Though I may disagree, those are real feelings based on whatever their mindset or whether their perception might be, and they may have some valid points for feeling that way. There may be some experiences in their life that bring them to that sentiment. But then I realized I sort of lost my own way on that, and I put my Facebook post out there. That's fine. I wanted to make that comment because I just want people to ask those questions. But at the same time, I could have just as easily stepped back, checked myself, know exactly how I feel about that, or investigated that in meditation. And it didn't necessarily have to be a discussion. Now, I am looking forward to the discussion at Neubauer and anybody else that wants to talk about it. But I recognized that I was getting caught up in my own frustration with other people, my own frustration with viewpoints that I didn't understand, viewpoints that I don't share. And that's on me. That's on me to temper that, to really think through and understand why I'm reacting that way, why I have some attachment to maybe a thought of them behaving differently, call it higher hopes maybe for humanity or individual decisions. And what I realize is it's part of being human. We all suffer. We all have viewpoints, and those viewpoints are based in ignorance about the way the world works. From a Buddhist perspective, since we're all still here, we're all still struggling with that ignorance. That includes me, my own viewpoints, the things that I tend to overlook, the things that I favor over some other viewpoint. In somebody else's perspective, it's just as twisted or just as out of balance or offline from what they believe. Coming back to center, of being able to regain my focus and to really think through what's important, what I believe, but what is reality? What is the reality of the situation? The reality of the situation is probably none of this really matters a whole lot in the grand spiritual sense. It does challenge sort of our human tendencies, but at the end of the day, U.S. women's national team, all these things aren't really affecting my long-term spiritual outcome. They're small, depending on the perspective that you look at them. And so that's me. I'm just being honest. That was my realization today, that I started getting caught up and shaking my head and getting frustrated. I reflect on my own attachments. I reflect on my own expectations of others. And with those expectations, with those desires, from an ignorant or angry or greedy viewpoint, those lead to suffering. Those ultimately lead to me and my own suffering from having those unrealistic expectations. So anyway, a little heavy for me, but the point being, in meditation, you celebrate when you recognize that you've gone off course. You celebrate when and reward yourself mentally for coming back to regaining focus, for having learned the lesson again, and putting it to practice. And hopefully you get faster, you see it sooner, maybe prevent it before it ever happens. But anyway, that's the positive vibe part of this is I've recognized that I have the opportunity to go back and do the work, go back and work on my meditation, work on my mindfulness, to be able to see those thoughts arising and to address them before they take action. So anyway, I hope that you are all well. I hope you all love each other and teach and inspire each other each and every day. I hope that you are thankful for something and express gratitude for something good in your life. And I'm expressing gratitude for being able to think about and recognize that I need to go back to the basics, go back to my meditation and investigate. So cheers, everybody, and we'll talk to you for Positive Vibe Sesh 77 tomorrow.